On this video I want to show you how to play the song Exile by Taylor Swift, a cool piano part. Let me say that I have my keyboard transposed just so it's easier to not have to move my camera setup, but the notes that I'm actually playing, this is middle C, and they should be here on the bottom of the piano, but I have my keyboard transposed so I can actually play them here. So that way it's supposed to sound down here, but I haven't transposed, so it's a little bit easier to film the tutorial. So we're gonna start with the right hand. You're gonna do this. Now on this song, very important to probably have a sustain pedal. If you don't, check our channel for what we recommend to be able to purchase. Make sure that your keyboard can take one before purchasing one, but you should be able to check that on the owner's manual, or just in the back it should have a hole that says sustain or hold, and you can purchase sustain pedals that are about $20, and they're a really good investment to have. So G flat, D flat, B flat, A flat, B flat, and that, if you do it with a sustain pedal, sounds a little bit prettier because the notes ring into each other. So there, I will practice that with fingers 1 on G flat and finger 4 on D flat. And very important there, don't move your hand. You can reach all those notes with one position. Get comfortable with that, do it multiple times. Then move your thumb to E flat, and we're gonna do this. So there we're gonna do E flat, A flat, G flat, back to E flat, and then back to the G flat. So I will practice. You do have to switch between those two, but I will start practicing getting those two, I guess, so you can play them without any mistakes. After you can do that, the left is fairly simple. When it gets a little bit more complex is when you try with both hands. Let me show you the left. The left, this is our van version, by the way. This is the way that we have our students play with other instruments. So we're gonna do the left hand 4 times with G flat and D flat. And then move to the left and do the same thing with E flat and B flat. And definitely fingers 5 and 1 for both of them. And there I am using the pedal, so it sounds a little bit more connected, a little bit less harsh. Definitely clean after 4. It's 3, 4 pedal up and down, so you can clean it for the next one. And this, I think, makes a big difference if you can do it with the pedal, because if not, it just sounds a little bit like almost like rough. So once you have that, the challenge is to put it with 2 hands. At the beginning, the notes don't really go together. There is the 4th one of your left hand does go together. So if we do it, it will be. So there, what we're trying to do is this. I would say you play twice with the left hand, then start with the right hand. And there, as you can see, there's almost like a zigzag between the hands. Try it very slowly so you actually stitch it correctly, like those two go together. And then we lift the pedal, move to the next group of notes, and do the next section. The good thing is the mechanical coordination is the same. The biggest thing that we see with students is when they hear that, they want to do it quickly. And they start like messing up what goes with what. Definitely slow it, like really slow it down. And practice it that slow so you can stitch it correctly. Once something has been assembled correctly, it's a lot easier to speed it up. So make sure that you spend some time and energy putting things together first and then speeding it up, because we actually see a lot of students really struggle. Sometimes they can't even play it ever correctly because they're not willing to slow it down. So that's I guess a big tip of how to assemble things. So that shouldn't be too hard. Now they're important to, of course, play it very steady, and I would say once you have that, we're going to show you here the next part, which is chords, but definitely probably practice that section with the actual recording so you can get an idea how it sounds. And also keep this in mind, your right hand should be a little bit louder than your left. Don't overpower your right hand, so you want to make sure that the left hand can get very strong, you know, depending on if you have a piano that it's touch sensitive and you're playing really hard the left hand. You want to have balance the this, not only the piano part is soft, but even more, you should have your right hand a little bit above in volume than your left hand. So let me show you the next part. The next part, we're gonna do 3 different chords. This chord, and we're gonna call it a C flat, and there's a reason on theory because of that, and we have a workshop on theory that you can check for that, but it's technically the letter C flat, which is the same letter as B on the piano, E flat, and G flat. You're gonna play that chord. Let me show you just the right hand first. You're gonna play that twice, then go to D flat major, which will be D flat F, A flat, and then E flat minor. Now all of those I would recommend doing with 1, 3, and 5. It's 2 counts each, and so 1, 2, then 3, 4, then the next one, 1, 2, and actually goes back down. So you're gonna do that twice, and definitely, if you never played this many black notes, be patient, because of course it's a little bit easier for us piano players to play with white keys first. So you want to do slowly, 1, 2, then 3, 4, the next chord, 1, 2, back down. So that pretty much repeats completely. So it goes again, and the third time the last chord changes. So 1, 2, then 3, 4, E flat minor, and then we go to this chord and hold it. So that's not super complicated, because we're just changing to D flat, G flat, and B flat, which is a G flat major in inversion. So that one holds for 2 counts. Then we do the second 2 chords, 1, 2, then 3, 4, and then we play the E flat minor 4 times, 3, 4, and then it starts the whole thing again. So I'll play that. Now the left hand is not particularly challenging. I would suggest pinky on C flat, and then your thumb on G flat, and that way you don't really have to move. So let me go ahead and play with 2 hands so you can see it, but it's not particularly challenging. So that whole section would sound. So this is the third time when it changes. And then it repeats this. And when it gets to this chord, it does it 4 times, but it's very light. And then it starts again. So I really like the piano part. I really like that bottom range of the piano. Again, I'm playing it up here, but you should play it on the bottom of your piano. Those notes can get pretty tricky to read it on sheet music, but they do sound beautiful. So make sure that you are patient. And on this one, make sure that you follow the correct fingerings. And definitely, if you can, get a sustain pedal. I think it's not gonna sound the way that it's supposed to without one. We'll see you on the next one.